It's 1750-something Scotland, and integration into Great Britain is a done deal. The intellectual scene is bubbling with ideas like scientific method and a willingness to reject old authorities in favor of reason. This wasn't necessarily easy to see coming. Just about 20 years earlier, the last woman to be convicted of witchcraft in Scotland was executed by burning. A few decades earlier, an 18-year-old Edinburgh University student was hanged for blasphemy. Yet somehow, by mid-century, interest in the workings of human minds, economies, and society is growing. So it's a great time to do some software testing, if it weren't for the utter lack of software, computers, electricity. Still, concepts like empiricism, induction, and division of labor are flourishing and producing intense discussion in the coffee houses of Edinburgh and Glasgow, even without Wi-Fi. David Hume, Adam Smith, and other thinkers are emphasizing knowledge based on the senses and the benefits of specialization. So how do these ideas relate to quality assurance? Well, consider empiricism. It's essential to quality assurance. David Hume, one of the great champions of empiricism, wrote that any knowledge we allegedly have comes ultimately from the senses, not from theorizing or old authorities. Producing software test results certainly depends on the senses, even if that sometimes means just reading numbers off of a screen. If Hume had been director of software, he might have emailed us that no matter how sure any of us feel the build is working, making sure it's working falls to QA. And that's our distinguishing feature. QA checks. We don't make stuff, we make sure. QA's imperative is to actually check with our senses, namely eyes or ears, no matter how sure of the outcome even we think we are. It's not to trust the theory that the feature works or that the new software patch should work. QA should take nothing on faith. We have to see or hear it to believe it. What about induction, that less buttoned down cousin of deduction? Induction comes up most clearly when a tester finds and attempts to describe a bug while doing exploratory testing. That's because when we're traipsing through the complex landscape of a large software project and notice something isn't quite right, we rely on our ability to accumulate specific observations, again using our senses, and from them formulate hypotheses about the nature of the bug we're hunting. That's induction, and those hypotheses suggest, again through deduction, predictions we can test to support or reject them. This flow from observations to hypotheses to predictions and testing is a form of scientific method. Without induction, we're left with scattered observations and a much slower route to isolating and describing issues. Then there's division of labor, to which SQA as a profession owes its existence. David Hume's friend and fellow Scot, Adam Smith, wrote maybe the most famous discussion of division of labor. He described how, rather than each worker building a product from start to finish, different workers specializing in just a few steps in production makes the entire effort more efficient, crafting more goods with the same amount of labor. SQA is a specialization in the sense that although programmers could be and sometimes are the only testers of their code, we often have instead dedicated testers. This recalls Smith's description of division of labor, and it offers advantages like greater objectivity and likely a more realistic test environment. In addition, individual testers within a team can specialize. That is, depending on the size and demands on the team, some testers might focus on a particular method of testing, a certain type of project, or some other form of specialty. Finally, Enlightenment thinkers in Scotland and beyond were promoting other ideas and values like independence from authority, skepticism, and technological improvement. I'll be making separate videos about some of these, but for now, we can just note how many ideas and values that are key to doing good quality assurance gained currency in what was just a few decades earlier a relative backwater of the British Empire, and consider what it might be about QA that comports so well with these values. But more about those topics another time. You can find more videos like this by clicking or tapping on the name of this channel, A Thoughtful Tester. Thanks for watching.